FCC High School Group, and welcome to Sunday Sam. So glad that you are here with us this morning. Before we even begin, I just wanted to say, can we just give thanks for everyone who's been helping us teach this series? Just thank you guys so much for doing the research and learning more about these women. It's just been so great. Thank you to Heather and Karenna and Pastor Sarah for last week's video. Want to say thank you to Joey, our Director of Spiritual Formation, for helping me learn more about Phoebe. That's who we were talking about today, as well as Joshua for doing a really cool drawing. So let's begin. Let's open up our Bibles, to Romans chapter 16. And again, we are learning about Phoebe. So I'm going to actually read verses 1 and 2. So let's get into it. I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church in Kenetra. I ask you to receive her in the Lord in a way worthy of the saints, and to give her any help she may need from you. For she has been a great help to many people, including me. Let's read that one more time. I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church in Kenetra. I ask you to receive her in the Lord in a way worthy of the saints, and to give her any help she may need from you. For she has been a great help to many people, including me. So one of the things that Joey helped me out with is giving me a resource, and it's from this book called Paul, Women and Wives, and it's by this author named Craig Keener. And one of the things that it actually points out was about these letters, like letters to the Romans. So what Paul was doing, or what they did back in that time, it's not like they had Amazon Prime where it'd be there in 2 days. It's not like they had like the blue postal service, like, hey, just walk down, open that little blue box, send your letter, it'll get there, don't worry about it. Nah, like that's actually not how this worked. It would actually be someone, you would trust someone enough to go and deliver the letter to these people. And that's what Paul is talking about right here about Phoebe. And it's him trusting her to go ahead and deliver the letter to the Romans. And what's like with these folks who were, handing these letters or, giving them to folks, is that they were like people of importance, but also that they can actually be used to explain or to teach or even interpret for people, like what Paul was trying to say, or if they had any questions, like they would go to Phoebe, and she would be able to answer their questions. It also points, like Joey pointed this out to me, and it talks about how in verse 1, that he commends to you, our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church in Kenetra. So by saying that, it is actually saying that she, both in Jewish and Christian communities, to be a host was a person of, again, honor and authority, and that's who she was in her church. So it kind of also goes into when it says the word servant in there, it is also known as a deaconess or diaconess, meaning they're a deacon. And with being a deacon, that they were also high officials within the church community. And during quarantine, which is kind of crazy, I remember asking my mom, I'm like, Mom, what's a deacon? Like, what does that mean? Or a deaconess? Like, what does that even mean? And she broke it down to me like this. And in the book of Acts, they, the disciples were trying to spread the good news of the gospel and the freedom that we can all find in Jesus. And for some of their new believers as well as Christians, were just needing assistance in different array of things, whether it's like, hey, I need a place to stay, or I need food, or all these various things of need, or even a listening ear. So the disciples came together and they created this team of people who would go and care for the people and the community. And that's who Phoebe was. She was a deaconess who would go and care for the community. Keener, in this book, actually points out this really cool quote that I want to read to you, and it says this: Phoebe held a position of considerable responsibility, prominence, and authority in her congregation. She probably taught the scriptures as well, but if she did not, she was at least trusted with sufficient regard theologically to be placed in this prominent authority role in the church, and to be recommended to those who might depend on her to help understand Paul's letter to them. And I just wanted to say, I think we have Phoebes in our life right now, that there are people who come alongside us who help us understand more. And my question to you is, who's a Phoebe in your life? Who is someone that you can also say, hey, thanks for just kind of being you, or thanks for helping me understand more about God? I think we all kind of have a Phoebe in our life, and maybe you don't have one right now, and maybe you've had one in the past, or maybe you'll have one in the future, but it's just one of those things of that's what we are called to do in this life, is to walk with one another in our faith journey and to lean on one another to learn more and understand God more, as well as to be in relationship with God. We're going to close this time by, I'm going to be reading a prayer for you, so let's go into that now. God who knows and still loves, we thank you for those in our lives who truly see the image of God in us. May they and you hold us in love in a world marked by such criticism and cruelty. There are those who seek to diminish our spirits out of their own self-hatred, those who are made anxious by the glory of another, those who do harm and call it love. Reveal this to us, not that we would spend energy demonizing those people, but that we might become increasingly able to discern spaces of unlove for what they are and compassionately move away from them. Guide us towards those who see us in all of our beauty and faults, who tell us the truth and remain. And for the lonely and the alienated, reveal yourself as near to them and protect them as they wait for a community that honors them. Amen. High schoolers, you are so loved. We just want to remind you, we do not have in-person youth group this week. Your leaders are reaching out to you. Again, have a wonderful week. We love you guys so much.